Hey, what's up? It's the LaDonna Raeh Show. I'm trying to figure out how did my sound start like in the middle of when I pressed play? What was that about? I think it has to do with me being on vacation. Woo, I needed that. I had a nice long vacation from doing this show. Yes, I had. I had. Good afternoon. I'm your host, LaDonna Raeh, on the LaDonna Raeh Show. As you know, we interview those content creators and we talk about just about anything. I know it's easy to kind of fall prey to these conversations that go on in the locker room, the barbershops, the beauty shops, the grocery stores, you name it. And we're talking about it. But you've been in those places over and over again, right? So I just like to bring these ideas and conversations and topics to this show. Now, some of my friends are getting a little nervous and they're wondering, are they topics that I'm using? Are they subjects of my topics? Why does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're having a conversation. Let's just keep the party going, okay? But anyway, over the weekend, what did you do? Well, let me tell you what I did. My father, first of all, I had a date on Friday. And I was all excited. I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. I know what I'm wearing. I'm getting off work at a certain time. It's on. I'm getting going, right? Because I have a lot of fun when I go out with this person. Well, my dad called me. Hey, I think I need to go to the ER. And I was like, now y'all know I love my daddy. And I was like, today? He was like, yeah, we can wait till Monday. I mean, I don't know if I'll make it, but, and see, that's where I get my sarcasm from. So I'm like, so today, he's like, yeah. When he told me what was going on, I decided to tell him, I said, you know what, go ahead and get dressed. Let's get you going. So after work, of course, well, I had the caregiver take him. And then after work, I met him there. Now, I don't want to go too long and hard on this part. It's not a sad thing. My dad's fine now. Yes, thank you very much. But he got there at 3:00. We're talking about a very well-known hospital here in Chicago. He got there at, I said 12. I meant 3. Did I say 3 or 12? Anyway, he got there at 3:00. I got there at 6:30. He was still waiting. Nobody had seen him, nothing. So now I got to walk in. Metal detectors are going off because I already know, bring a blanket and some snacks. In fact, I still got snacks. Always bring blankets, snacks, and water, right? So I had 2 computers, one for, doing my graphics and another one just in case my dad wanted to watch something. I mean, I was prepared. Now the metal detectors are going off and the officer said, ma'am, I need you to step over and talk to the officer. I'm like, okay. I step over and talk to the officer and he says, so you set off the metal detector? I'm looking at him like, you asking me? You don't want the technology, but I didn't say all of that because I got to get inside with my father. And I said, well, did I? I'm not incriminating myself. Oh, yeah, I set them off. Then I sit the bag on the counter and he says, ma'am, can you step back? I need to search your bag. I said, sure, no problem. I proceed to unzip it. And he's like, I don't need you to unzip it. I said, first of all, this is still my bag. You don't have a warrant and I'm going to open it for you. This is my bag. And when I opened it, he was like, okay, can you step back? No problem. So he goes through and it must be the computer. Do you have any scissors, a gun, a knife? I'm not answering that. So you searching, look for it. So anyway, we finally got to the back where the doctors are. And let's just say I had to leave my father there at 11:30. So yes, my date was canceled or postponed, but it was worth it because my father is okay. And that's what matters. But why is it that when you go to a said hospital facility in the emergency room, it doesn't seem to be an emergency? I don't know why we were sitting there so long. Now, of course, I had to jump up and down in a diplomatic way because you really do want to look at the end result, okay? You want to look at the end result and say that I am advocating for my father, and they don't want you sitting with him either. So I got to pull out the papers and show what the deal is. Saturday, I did get a chance to get away and I went to the movies. How many of you like those nostalgic reboots of movies like Ghostbusters? Like, I was excited to see that it was coming out again. And yes, I got to see Ghostbusters. Now, I First of all, I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters because when I saw it, I was excited about it as a kid. And it kind of took me back. So this was in 1984, right? So 1984, the original came out. And we're talking about we had these, these dynamic guys that were chasing these ghosts that looked so real back then. But now it's you know all the special effects and stuff, but they've gotten even better, and now it's a family that's fighting the ghosts, and they've got Egon's daughter. I think that's what I understood. And rest in peace, Egon. He passed away, unfortunately. Harold Ramis. He was actually born and raised in Chicago, so there was a Chicago connection there. But he was also a screenwriter, an actor, a director, and they really pulled it together nicely because Dan Aykroyd was in it. All of the original cast was in it, minus Egon. So I want to say kudos to you guys for putting that reboot together the way that you did. I was actually a little mystified and scared and laughing at the same time. So that was a good start. I want to move on to what everybody's talking about. Yep, we have broken the country music now. The country music has been infiltrated by none other than Beyonce. I love me some Beyonce, and I know most of you do either. In fact, she's one of the safest black folks in the industry where you can't say anything about black people if you say something about Beyonce. You can't say anything about white people if you say something about Taylor Swift. They're the two safest people on the planet. Now, when you break into country music, though, and you're cussing, not with just a few H words, but you using the B word, woo. What does that do to country music? It kind of makes it sound a little bit less honeyful, less wholesome. But everybody's getting their hoe down on. They're going out getting cowboy boots and hats. And because of this rendition of her version of country music, she does have a right to sing country music simply because she's from Texas. She's more country than country folks. When you sit down and listen to her voice, she has that diction, or I shouldn't say diction. She has that cadence of a country woman, and she's down to earth about it. So let her do her country thing. Now, I don't want to hit a cussing version because, well, I'm just not there yet. Now, I do cuss, but I don't want to hit cussing country. That's all I got. That's all I got. Another thing. I don't want to breeze over this Wendy Williams situation. Okay. Everybody's talking about Wendy Williams and how mental and how she's got this frontal dementia going on. She's been diagnosed, and this has been a few years now. But I got my notes here because I don't want to miss anything. Wendy Williams, as you know, is the gossip queen. Like, aside from Tasha K now, but lo and behold, we've got Wendy Williams, who has kind of broken the mold of saying, "Hey, how you doing?" and being kind of on the crazy side of things and bringing it to us. But I don't want to like dismiss her hard work of where she got to in doing that and taking a risk. And some people are actually crass enough to say, "Well, she's got what was coming to her because of that." No, don't do that. Don't do that. It's all entertainment. How you respond to it's not what they call you, is what you respond to, right? So in my notes, I wanted to make sure I touched upon this point. She was married to her husband for over 25 years. 15 of those years, he had a mistress. He took their money, her money, and bought his mistress a home. She was driving around in riding around in Wendy's cars and everything else, living the life of luxury. Okay? Remember, I said 25 years of marriage, 15 years of cheating. Now, it's one thing to cheat, but to have a whole relationship. And then Wendy was very protective of her marriage. She had no problem saying, "Hey, listen, I'm still married." But wrong hand. I'm out of practice, y'all. I'm still married. We still together. Hey, that's our household, right? Now, Kevin was actually her manager. her, and he did what he did. But he had this whole relationship that Wendy knew about. And when he came to her finally and said, "Look, I got something to tell you," and she was like, "What? You know what is having your baby?" She had no interest in that baby, in that situation. She said, "I want out." Now, think about this timeline though. She wants out. She has to pay Kevin alimony. He's getting alimony, and she was smart enough to put in her clause that he will get the alimony as long as the show is on, as long as she has a network show. She was very specific. Her show got canceled. His payments got canceled. And now he's up in arms like, "Oh, I can't survive. Like, I can't buy my baby Louis Vuitton Jordans." I made that up. But the thing is, he saved or didn't appear to save any of this money. Now, here's the biggest focus on this. I'm not even caring about Kevin, his girl. I don't even remember her name. The baby, poor little innocent child, got to go through this and always be forever remembered as that child that was born outside of the marriage of Wendy Williams, the talk show queen. The problem or the issue is how Wells Fargo has their claws all in her finances. Ooh, how did they do that? Well, here's the thing. Someone deemed her mentally disconnected from being able to make financial decisions of her own money. I believe she had over 13 accounts at Wells Fargo. This is in New York. New York decides to file a petition to get temporary guardianship. Why are you filing a petition to get temporary guardianship? Is it because you see, oh, wait, I don't want to pull the race card yet. I'm pulling it, just not right now. Her son, who was well in his 20s, I think I got that right, had power of attorney of his mother. Okay. Now, I failed to remember if it was power of attorney over finances and health, or if it was both or one or the other. Okay. However, he had power of attorney. So it was brought up, that leads me to believe that it was power of attorney over finances. There's a difference, people. Take notes and go get your ish together. Now, how is it that they can ignore the power of attorney over finances from her own son, and the fact that she has a living sister and family that cares about her genuinely, who tried to help her get better, be in a better situation, right? And they steamrolled all of that and filed a petition. Who signed this petition? To get temporary guardianship, which has turned into permanent guardianship, which the guardian is being protected and Wendy isn't. Did you know that a guardian, when someone is appointed guardianship over your finances, that they can put you in a nursing home and sell your assets and you be stuck there forever? Did you know that? So here's my petition, America. And those of you that have Wells Fargo accounts that make all kinds of money, because Wendy has millions. Did they see a black woman and decide that they didn't want a black family to have access to all that money? Did they do that? Well, what about Bruce Willis? Like, Bruce Willis has frontal dementia as well. And did they do that to him? Is it because he has a wife? And then I thought about this. If Kevin was still her husband, would he do this to her? More than likely. He'd be like, "Yeah, babe, I'll be back. I'm going where you going, Kev? To the moon." Okay. Well, just make sure that you come back here when you're done. I don't know. Wendy is still snapping them off. Who decided that she couldn't make a decision over her finances just because she has a diagnosis, right? That makes me nervous. Here's my question. All of you wealthy people who have your money in Wells Fargo, I challenge you to take it out of the Wells Fargo bank and put it into a black bank, because our people, our community of banks, are not interested in pulling the rug from under you. We simply just want to serve you. I don't know why Wells Fargo why the light is not bright enough to show that this is a personal interest of Wells Fargo to try to hold on to those millions of dollars for their own investors. I want you to see this. I challenge you. If you have an account at Wells Fargo, beware. This too can happen to you. You are not safe, because she had her paperwork in order. And you may have your paperwork in order. And I'm wondering if all of you pull your money out of Wells Fargo. Yes, because they have already shown what they will do to you if they get a hint. Did she go into the bank and say, you know what? Uh, let's go get a drink when we leave here. And they're like, oh, what is that about? And they start taking notes and let's do a little digging. How did they get her medical information? Did she go in there and say, hey, listen, I got I need to look up what this is really called. I have frontal lobe dementia, I guess, right? And I'm not sure if I'll be able to handle my finances. Can you guys possibly help me out in that department? I doubt if Wendy went in there with that ish. I think someone was poking around and being nosy. Where'd they get this information from? Medical information is very private. And if she did go public, that's still none of your business because she didn't go public with you. So why is it that you are preying on this woman who has worked hard for her money? You were smiling and grinning every time she made a deposit, but now you're pulling the rug from under her as if she's a nobody and she brought you money. I challenge you, Wells Fargo customers and the rest of you. You don't have to just be at Wells Fargo. Any bank can follow suit. Any bank can follow suit. Be careful. Put your bank where you have a real, true, down-to-earth relationship because Wells Fargo is all about Wells Fargo. I say that and I say it with confidence because looking at the timeline of what they did, their interest became so obvious that it is making me want to puke. Yes, there I said it. They froze her accounts in early 2022. We were barely out of COVID, and all they could think about was freezing her money so she couldn't get to it. I mean, she can't even pull out $1 million just to put in a shoebox if she wanted to because you froze it. Her American Express cards weren't working. None of her debit cards were working. Can you imagine? She can't even order a meal if she's hungry because we have already had this thingamajig with being black in America and putting our money into the mattress. And then we finally start choosing the banks and look at what the banks did. This was prophesized many, many years ago. And here it is happening. Hey, I get a text message and my card is locked if I'm out of town. If I'm swiping too much, they're like, whoa. And the moment I say I verify and validate those transactions, I'm back on the block. I'm back to swiping. I appreciate that. But Wendy, you mean to tell me that you had to file a petition? You better file a petition on a lot of these people that are not of sound mind. Mind you, I'm not a target because I don't have millions of dollars yet. And I won't be putting it into Wells Fargo. Absolutely not. I don't trust you. And neither should any of you. Because as you see, you're only as good to Wells Fargo Bank as you are good to them. I'm just saying. All right. So let's lift this a little bit. How many of you guys watch BMF, the television show? I certainly watched every single episode. I've even interviewed 3 people that were on. I even interviewed the showrunner that were on BMF, right? I never got a chance to interview Lil Meech, though. But Lil Meech reached out to me, Demetrius Flannery. He reached out to me and he said, hey, send me your t-shirt size. I'm going to send you a t-shirt. And I was like, cool. So I sent him my t-shirt size and he came back with I'm adding the uhs. Go ahead and send me $25 for shipping. I was like, wait a minute. I thought this was Meech. Like he makes it rain. $25. That was back on the floor somewhere. So I went ahead and I sent the 25. I was like, let me just see what happens here. I never got my shirt. I reached out to him. I said, hey, did you send my shirt? He said, yes, I did. Then I said, I never got it. He said, well, check again. I checked again because I sent it to my P.O. box. I don't want people to have my address. I don't care who they are. I never got my shirt. This was 4 months ago. I have all the text messages. I'm just confused as to why I didn't get my shirt. What was that about? And it was really him because I got people that verify stuff. I got people. Let me swing back to that. So Meech, you owe me a t-shirt size medium. Well, actually, I'm a small now. It's a good thing you didn't send it because, I lost a couple of inches. So yeah, go ahead and run that. You got my address. Thank you. All right, we got a couple of comments here. Let's see what we got. We got Lorenzo says, you have to ask the question, is healthcare in the business of caring? Well, I think that's one of those questions where you know the answer to it. No, they're not in the business of caring. They want the elderly, and those of you that missed some of the story, they want the elderly to sit in the waiting area for 3, 4, 5 hours. One guy was there for 3 days and hadn't eaten. And his daughter got wind of it and finally went up there and said, hey, my father hasn't eaten. I had to bring my dad White Castle. Yeah. I already wrote a letter to the board, the Board of Hospitals of Illinois. I'm sorry. I sent it out. They responded back too. I forgot to give them my mailing address. I'm gonna fix that. Okay, here we go. Another one. I was talking about Beyonce's song, "They're Hold Down." Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Tiffany Green, my girl, says, "Great afternoon. Same to you, Miss Tiff." And then Tiffany says, are we talking about K Michelle? I love the country. Yes. Did I say? Did I say something wrong? Okay, here we go. All right. She said, oh, no. That was something. She was making a different comment. Yes, I love Tasha K. I love Tasha too. Yes, I do. And love Wendy. Thank you for loving Wendy. I'm on board with loving Wendy. Regardless of what she did, the Inquirer did it first. And my great grandmother used to call them smut papers. And they flew off the shelves. They just couldn't keep them. And finally, we got another comment from Mr. Lorenzo. It says, at the end of the day, we are looked at as assets on the descendants of the children of slave masters and the banks that they gave loans and financed slaves. I hope I read that right. What he is saying, those banks that gave loans based on your human capital won't even give us a loan. I've gone mad. Yeah. And they will freeze your assets. So that's what your assets get for putting your money in their assets bank. Okay? Put it in a black bank. Yeah, they're out there and they left the light on for you. And I guarantee you, they're not filing petitions to get you froze out of your own money. They're just happy to see you ring the doorbell or come through the door. Well, that's all I got, guys. Here's the deal. Check me out this Thursday. I will be sending you warm wishes when we have the interview for Miss Elia English, the actress who was on the Jamie Foxx show. She was known as Aunt Helen. I'm so excited to release that interview. Why? Because she is like your real Aunt Helen. I feel like she's my Aunt Elia. I was so excited, I didn't even say her name the proper way. I had it all rehearsed, and I was like, y'all give it up for Elia English. Where was that? Who understood what I said? Maybe the spirits, okay? I have no clue what was up with that, but I was just so excited to talk to her. And I want you guys to do me one solid. I want to first of all thank yourselves, and I want you to hug yourselves because I'm thanking you for supporting me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, watching my goofiness, my videos, all of the things that you have done. Yes, I couldn't do this without you. Now, I could, but you would hear crickets, and I got plenty of those sound effects. But I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there with me, for me, through me. And those of you that are against me, hey, haters make you greater, baby. All right. And just stay tuned because look out for that interview from Elia English. And I've got so many more. I've got the Lenny Williams interview out there. I'm going to pull out Christopher Williams, Freddie Jackson. I was like, wait, who, what? Where have they been? Man, they've been around. And I've got I've got my skits that are coming too. So make sure you check me out on TikTok. I went and took a glance at the Dr. Dre star when it was being put into the ground. And that's on TikTok. Nobody even knew it was happening. I walked by, after getting my star. And there, I was like, who is that? Dr. Dre, this is a big deal. So I recorded it. You'll see all of the information I put out there on it. And then finally, the following Tuesday was the ceremony with him, Snoop Dogg, and the rest of the crew when he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. All right, so y'all stick with me. I love you much. This has been a treat. I always love having you on right here with me. Normally I have somebody on the right or the left of me, but not today. Coming back from this awesome weekend. All right, guys, thank you for all your prayers. My dad is coming home today, by the way. And I'll see you next time on the LaDonna Raeh Show. Subscribe. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. I forgot to tell you about the story when I walked into the gas station in a sketchy neighborhood. Okay, here's the deal. I was super thirsty. I mean, super thirsty. I wanted a cold bottle of water. I had a regular bottle of water, but I wanted a cold one. I walk into the gas station, and this guy's at the door, and he's pretending to be on his phone, right? Looked like he was of Middle Eastern descent, you know. And I walked by, and I felt that coldness. It wasn't the water. It was his shoulder. And I said, hello. He's like, oh, hi. Okay. You know, you walk in your store, say hi to the people. You gonna treat my people right. Okay? Then I find this cold bottle of Fiji water. I love Fiji. When I got $2.39 for a small bottle. Total waste. But it was really good. I went to the cash register and he's like, okay, that'll be. I said, hi, how are you? He's like, well, what's up? What's up? I said, what's up? Do we know each other? And he's like, well, yeah, I seen you around. I said, you ain't seen me around these parts. Well, I said, oh, wait a minute. You must have seen me on YouTube. YouTube? I said, yeah, do you subscribe to my channel? He was like, what is your channel? I gave it to him. The other guy comes running around. He's like, what's your channel? I was like, oh, YouTube. I need to wear a t-shirt. And they both subscribe to my channel. So if you're watching, those of you in the gas station right there on King Drive, 55th, okay? I just want to say, what's up? Because I said you can say what's up if you subscribe to my channel. That's the only way. You have to support our community in order to say what's up. All right? That's all I got. I got my cold bottle of water. It was amazing. And now we're about to get on out of here. Bye-bye for now. Yeah.